The Elimination Chamber is coming our way in a couple of weeks, so what kind of wrestling nerd would I be if I didn't sit down here with you, my friends? And please do comment below and give me your own predictions. What is the card going to be? Who's going to be where? And given that SmackDown's happening in a few hours, I had to make this today. Well, actually, I'm making it the day before SmackDown, but we'll go live on that Friday because I have a bold prediction. I can't make that bold prediction on Saturday because WWE is either going to prove me right or they're going to prove me wrong. You can laugh at me down below, and please do like, share, and subscribe. Let us go. So I'm going to save that to the end because I'm going to be that guy. So we'll instead start with the Women's Elimination Chamber. Have my notes up here. We know that Tiffany Stratton is in. We know that Rhea Ripley is in. Again, we're going to know a bit more information later on today too. But I have Alexa Bliss, I have Charlotte, and I have Asuka. And I also have maybe Bianca Belair. Let me just make sure that is 6 people. Tiffany, Rhea, Bianca, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte, Asuka. That's 6. Now, I do have an asterisk next to Bianca Belair's name because in Dream World, I would have Bianca Belair return. She would win the Elimination Chamber and she would face Jade Cargill at WrestleMania to finally get that title feeling like it means something again. There was a rumor this week that it could either be Charlotte Flair or Tiffany Stratton in that role. It cannot be Tiffany Stratton because we've done that feud. I just don't think WWE needs to return to it. That's no smoke on Tiffany Stratton. She's awesome, but there's other things that people can do to feel important. And while I don't mind Charlotte Flair doing it, I just think you're walking on eggshells because there is a contingent of fans that will always moan about that. So even if it's not going to be Bianca Belair, I would maybe try and come up with something else. Although I'd like to point out from my own personal point of view, Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill, I think is a super interesting match, especially given their past and where they've come from, where they're going, and where Charlotte is and where Jade is in the company. I actually think they'd have quite a decent match. I like Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton because it was totally unhinged. I don't want every single one of my wrestling matches to feel smooth. So give me some nuts stuff. But I just think Bianca Belair's a better option is what I'm getting at. They too have the history. They too have the past. I mean, Bianca Belair in the story essentially brought Jade Cargill in. They had the tag team title reign. I just think that would feel like a mega big deal. And it's a match that I want to see. I think you could even give the title to Bianca Belair and nobody would moan. Obviously, tonight on SmackDown, Jordynne Grace is taking on Jade Cargill. And I think Jade has been the champion for over 100 days. This is her first title defense. That's nothing on Jade, by the way. She doesn't get to tell them what to do. They tell her what to do. This is absolutely ridiculous. And the reason I wouldn't have Charlotte Flair in that spot as well, this is the reason why I want Alexa Bliss in there. We tease something here. Maybe Charlotte takes out Alexa or Alexa takes out Charlotte. All depends who's going to be heel, who's going to be face. And they should have their match at WrestleMania. We did it at the Royal Rumble. We've kind of continued to tease it. I would have Alexa Bliss as the heel and Charlotte Flair as the face because nobody would see it that way round. I think Charlotte's found a nice... what's the word I'm looking for? Just momentum as a good guy at the moment, and she's already done that before. And Alexa Bliss has good heel chops. I always go back to 2018 or maybe even 2016, whatever the Nia Jax feud was, when Nia Jax, on paper, you would have gone Nia Jax the bully and Alexa Bliss is not. We switched those roles, and Nia Jax was a tremendous babyface. Alexa Bliss was brilliant as the bully, so I would try to lean into that here as well. So that's why they should be in the Elimination Chamber. And if Bianca Belair can't make it, I'd put Raquel in there. I just think that would be a good way to... She should almost come close to winning it, and then, of course, she doesn't, and that kind of puts her on a similar level with Liv Morgan. Maybe Liv Morgan hasn't chosen by that point as well, you see, and that can create more animosity between them, because the Judgment Day is going to break up soon. Asuka I've thrown in there just because I love Asuka, and I think she's excellent. I think she should be showcased in anything like this because she will make the match better. But there are a bunch of other people, but really, in terms of those names... that's what it probably would be Tiffany Stratton if Bianca Belair isn't ready to go. It all depends on what the Jade Cargill match is. When we predicted the WrestleMania card months ago, I was so convinced. I said it will be Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair. But this finger problem, well, one of two things has happened. Well, quite clearly, the finger breakage that Bianca suffered has been really bad because that was WrestleMania 41. So before all this wrestling nonsense, I hope she's doing okay. But maybe the reason she wasn't in the Royal Rumble is because she wasn't going to win the Royal Rumble. WWE knew they had the Elimination Chamber here, so why not do a surprise return there instead? At the same time, we're like 2 weeks away, and it hasn't even been hinted at. So I just may be sort of barking up Nerd Town here, whatever that means. I should have said Nerd Tree or Geek Tree. Either of these would have been fine. The Geek Oak Tree back out in my backyard. So Bianca Belair isn't there. It's going to be so damn hard. I think we can hazard a guess that it is going to be Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vicaire. Technically, that is not in the books yet because Liv Morgan is taking her time. But we've just leaned so much more heavy into that than we have the Jade stuff. I just think it's a better match for what I want to see from WrestleMania. So it could be Tiffany Stratton because WWE probably sees that as a redo. I think it's a bit boring. Rhea Ripley, I think, should be in a tag team match at WrestleMania. I think we should really take those tag titles and light them up. Bianca Belair, we talked about. Raquel could be in there, but it's better for her story that she does lose. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair should spin off. And again, if you want to do Asuka versus Jade Cargill, this guy ain't going to moan, but I can't see that in any way, shape, or form. There's probably somebody I am forgetting about now as I stare off into the distance, but I'm pretty confident with 90% of that. And if push came to shove, I still think maybe Bianca Belair is going to be there somehow, but that could just be holding out for a hero, whatever that means. But Tiffany, Rhea, Bianca, maybe Raquel, Bliss, Charlotte, Alexa, Asuka, I should say. And I think Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss will be the cool story of the match. There's always one cool subplot in an Elimination Chamber. And of course, the one that comes to mind is when Jade Cargill did return to beat the crap out of Naomi with Bianca Belair. So maybe we can tie that in here. I'm going with it. I rubber stamped it. And don't worry, because it's not as stupid as my men's one. Now, obviously, I'm cheating a little bit here, so I'll give you my early predictions, but we'll do the prediction video too. Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee is confirmed. I think the title is on the line. On the graphic, I've seen it, and sometimes it's not. But actually, when you do go back and watch that Raw segment, it's a little bit ambiguous, because it kind of sounds like AJ Lee is saying, well, let me beat you once, then I'll beat you twice. Whereas I think it's much better if Becky Lynch wins here, and she does it by cheating, and then AJ puts something on the line, we get to WrestleMania. Essentially, what this is going to do is it's going to bring us to WrestleMania, and AJ Lee is going to win the Intercontinental title. I think that's the best thing to do. I don't think she needs a long reign. I think maybe Roxanne Perez should then go into a feud with AJ Lee. What we do with Becky Lynch, I do not know. So much hate for Becky Lynch these days. There's not so much hate. What am I talking about? There's a contingent of people. And listen, you're allowed your opinion, but as always, I feel like people just jump over the line and start saying crazy stuff. Becky Lynch at this stage, in terms of WWE women's wrestlers, which I understand is a ridiculous asterisk to throw out there, I think is my favourite ever. I often think about this. It's only because if I say she's one of my favourite wrestlers ever, people go, what about this person? What about that person? So I'll try and categorise it for you so you see where I'm coming from. But of all the women that have come through the WWE doors, she's at least number 1, 2, or 3. I'd have to sit down and really think about it. I wasn't the biggest fan of the back and forth they had on Raw this week, but again, doesn't mean that they shouldn't have done that. I don't know, I like goofy wrestling as well. And some people are like, Becky is too over the top. I like over the top Becky Lynch. When she had her meltdown during the very intro of Raw, I thought it was tremendous. Sometimes things happen on TV, though, and either that you are going to resonate them or you're not. But yes, Becky Lynch will win here by some horrendous means, because you want AJ Lee to win on the big stage. WWE just needs to come up with a very interesting, a very fun, a very creative story, and they should be able to do that. I don't see why they can't, which actually ties into the other match. We do have it confirmed, but I get my daft prediction out now. I'll then double down on it next week when I have more information, or I'll run away scared. CM Punk versus Finn Balor also got confirmed on Raw. Big old episode of Raw to get into the chamber. And all I've had all week long, and it's lovely to talk to you all, apart from the people that go nuts, is this is a waste of Finn Balor. What are we doing? He's going to lose. How on earth can we possibly suspend our disbelief or find jeopardy in this match? And I agree with you. I think it's highly unlikely that Finn Balor is going to win that match and win the championship. I do think it's CM Punk's and Finn Balor's job to try and convince you, to try and put in some seeds of doubt there, so that we do get to the match. Like, I'm not 100% sure. But actually, I don't think that is why this exists. In my opinion, again, this is total fantasy booking once again. I think this is designed to get us to a different area, hopefully with the Intercontinental title, because of course on Raw, Dominic Mysterio was like, hey man, just wait for JD McDonough and go after the tag titles. And Finn didn't like that, said we're meant to be family. And he walked off, don't know why he's Scottish now. And Dominic Mysterio looked at him lovingly like he just lost his dog. Given that we do need some feuds for this IC Championship, and I understand that Dominic has been injured for most of this year, but still, the belt needs some love giving into it, which sounds horrendous. I think Dominic should try and help Finn Balor, totally screw up. That costs him the match. CM Punk can win. You can get away with that because Dom and Finn then get into a big old feud. Turns out Dominic Mysterio did it on purpose for whatever reason you want to pull out of your rectum. That's our WrestleMania match. Finn Balor wins the championship. He then goes back babyface. He comes out on Raw. He's got his original theme. Duh, duh. He does that with his arms, and maybe we even get a demon match in 2026 that is booked correctly and not in a bizarre way where it's like, oh, he's a demon now. Oh my gosh. What are we going to do? And that way, like I say, this serves a wonderful purpose. CM Punk can then go on to take on Roman Reigns, which of course is going to happen. They've already got all the power and energy in the world. Dom and Finn is long overdue. I appreciate the fact that WWE's been patient, but there's a line and we're way across that as well. And again, it gets Dominic Mysterio, well, to be a big an asshole, which is always good. It allows Finn Balor to be a mega babyface again, which is always good. Finn Balor will be the IC champion, which I would like. It still puts a focus on you, and as we saw with Gunther, you can become a major part of the show if you do get some good storytelling behind you, and there's so many good matches out there. And once the El Grande Americano stuff is done, you can do Chad Gable versus Finn Balor. Who wouldn't want to see that? And there'll be a bunch of other guys. So you can do Javon Evans versus Finn Balor. You could do, man, why can't my brain not work? But you know what I'm talking about here, right? You could do Mr. Organa versus Finn Balor, and we already did that in AAA, so maybe don't do it again. But I like it if we do that. I don't think this is happening for shibs and giggles, though. I think there's something deeper here. So I am going to be that guy. I'm going to wait and see. Although I like it on paper anyway, because even if Finn Balor doesn't win, he is still in a world title match at the Elimination Chamber, which is better than he has been in some instances, which is kind of hanging out in the background, quite literally playing Nintendo. Pretty sure it was a PlayStation. You know what I'm getting at. So that's what I think is going to happen. However, my prediction has to be true because the match has already been announced. All right, let's get to the men's one, which I guess is the most interesting thing to talk about today. We know LA Knight is in. We know Randy Orton is in. And this is when things... You're going to be like, Simon, what are you talking about? Because as I look over here, I have Cody Rhodes, I have Sami Zayn, and I have Jacob for 2. And you're like, Simon, they're in the qualifying match that's happening a bit later. You know what WWE loves more than anything? They love shenanigans. They love distractions. They love interference. Put those words together, and what do you get? That's what I think WWE is going to do. And even if we do pull a fast one and Cody Rhodes doesn't win, I still think the WWE is going to find a way for these three guys to get into the chamber. Now, could I be wrong? Absolutely, I could be wrong. But it ties into a couple of things, because we also know that we're getting Javon Evans, Dominic Mysterio, and Gunther on Raw. I don't want Gunther to be in this match. Now, I'm being an idiot here, because of course Gunther would be in this match, but I've now decided to go full-on idiot, moron, internet man, so please do get mad at me in the comments below. I just think if Gunther's not going to win the Elimination Chamber, which he's not, it's one thing being in the Rumble, because you can chuck his ass out the Rumble, as Roman Reigns did, and we mostly move on. There is no way that Gunther should be being pinned or submitted or anything like that until 2027. He retired Goldberg. He retired AJ Styles. He retired John Cena. He needs a Brock Lesnar type run. And I don't think he's going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Maybe he will be. Maybe it'll be Drew McIntyre versus Gunther, which is a feud they have done before. And maybe they do throw Jacob for 2 in there, and they throw a Cody Rhodes in there. Maybe they throw a Sami Zayn in there, and they do a crazy 5-way. I'm not saying that I'm not right. So he could win the Elimination Chamber, and that changes all of this. And it also could be that he is facing a person I can't even think of right now. One point I thought it was Brock Lesnar, but I think Obafemi should be in that. Hence why Obafemi's name is not here, because I don't want him losing either. But I just kind of think, let's say it was going to be Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. This is never going to happen. Brock Lesnar could come out the ring and beat the hell out of him. You just protect. We still don't need to do it. So if Gunther's going to win the Elimination Chamber, put him in, and I'll do the dance of joy. If he's not, keep him out, which is why I would have Javon Evans win that match, because, of course, Javon Evans can ping Dom, or Dom can do something with Javon Evans. Gunther can be completely left out of that and then just throw a tantrum, and then he is totally protected, right? It doesn't take away from his John Cena retirement power just because in a triple threat match, 2 doofuses went doofus. So you can have LA Knight, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Sami Zayn, and Jacob for 2. Is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is 6. Thank goodness. Have I done my maths wrong again? And then I could just see shenanigans in the match later. And I understand you may be tuning into this video way after the fact, but you'll see whether I was right or wrong, which is quite nice. It's like watching a movie after you see the twist. You can go back and see, did I see any hints in there or did I not? I just think Cody Rhodes is going to win this. Although actually, if he is going to be in the main event, the problem is, if Cody Rhodes doesn't win, and he still finds his way into the main event, you're going to get the Cody detractors like, oh man, it's unbelievable. Whereas I still think if he wins, you'll get that, but they'll move on quite quickly. Whereas if Jacob for 2 wins this, which he certainly could do, people are going to get excited because Jacob for 2, much like the Bron Breakker rise, you want them in these big matches, especially a main event of WrestleMania, because he could win that championship. But I just don't think you're going to do Drew McIntyre versus Jacob for 2 as a singles match at WrestleMania. And I think WWE still sees Cody Rhodes as the face of the company, as they should, and they're going to want to work him in. So don't go back to what we used to do with Roman and Brock, where it's quite obvious that Roman was going to win. There was a pre-backlash to that, so Vince McMahon got all worried and he would have Brock Lesnar win. It just made it so messy and so ridiculous. If you are going to put Cody Rhodes in that position, just do it. And also, the negative Nancy's out there, or the Cody crybabies, to use The Rock's terms, they're not as big as the people that cheer him. Every now and then there's pockets of boos, but they always go away, or Cody turns them again. He's still a super over babyface. You see it in the numbers, the ratings, the buy rates, whatever you want to call it, the merchandise numbers. Let's wait until it makes sense from a majority point of view, and not just because some people are bored of him. Like, I'm not bored of him. I love the fact he's a super duper wonderful, nice human being babyface. We never get that in WWE, so he can just win these things. He did win the Royal Rumble. He can win the Chamber. I don't think he's ever won a Chamber before, so that's a good tick box for him as well. Makes him a bigger star. What you do with LA Knight and Randy Orton, I don't know. I mean, that could actually be a feud for WrestleMania now I think about it, because otherwise they're persona non grata. I like Javon Evans being in it because I think it's good for him and his push, and I understand Obafemi should be in there, but as much as I hate to say it, I can just see a world where WWE is happier to pin Javon Evans than they are Obafemi, and Obafemi shouldn't be suffering his first loss right now. But I think Javon Evans will just be a delight in it, and I think he'll get over because he'll do some crazy stuff, which is important. And then, yes, Sami Zayn and Jacob for 2 just tick those boxes. But if you're not going to do that, you could put Gunther in it, and maybe you are going to get this massive 5-way at WrestleMania. But then Randy Orton would have to be in it, and LA Knight. They'd all have to be in it. It'd be like an 8-man match. So it does make WrestleMania 42 very interesting from a guessing point of view. I really can't figure it out, but just to rubber stamp it, LA Knight and Randy Orton are good, we know that. Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Sami Zayn, and Jacob for 2. Sami Zayn's probably an outlier. He doesn't necessarily need to go in. I can still see a world where Jacob moves forward and Cody gets in, and maybe Gunther takes the Sammy. Oh no, because Gunther would have to beat Javon. I don't know. I'm sticking with what I've got, okay? Stop trying to talk me out of it. I've decided there are my 6 names. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It doesn't matter. So many times I make these videos, people go, ha ha, Simon, you're like a right idiot. I mean, that's true anyway. Whether I make these predictions or not, so I should do them. More importantly, as I say, drop me your predictions down there as well. We can mostly focus on the 6 people in the women's and the men's. Who's going to be the 6 women? Who's going to be the 6 men's? And pick a winner too as well. I know we're just talking about the match card here, but we'll do that obviously next week, whenever the flub it is, the week before the Chamber. But that's what I'm going with. I'm pretty confident about it. Now, yes, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the video on the screen, which is me talking about Monday Night Raw and all the madness leading into the Chamber. I would appreciate it. When you are done, go to patreon.com/Simon316, support me there. GorillaMind.com/Simon. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow, and they do have some supplements to help you in. It's the word I can look for. You know what I'm talking about. It's all hormones and stuff. They can help you in that region too, so you can give them a go. Use the code Simon, get money off. Sometimes loads of money off too. It ships worldwide. Otherwise, come say hello at Simon at 316 on social media, and then it's Cameo, TikTok, and Pro Wrestling Tees if you'd like more of my stupid stuff. I appreciate you. Thank you for sitting with me for another week. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow to talk about SmackDown. I got progress on Sunday, so I'll try and get a video done, but I'm a little bit behind at the moment. Please do forgive me. Have a lovely day, though. I like you a lot. See you soon.